Welcome back to the Zach Knows Podcast. I'm Zach Collins, and we got a little bit to cover today. Actually, a lot, because we took a little week off, but it's okay. I got a new voice in here with me. Say what's up, Billy.
Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm Billy Wilson. How y'all doing?
Yeah, and then it's me and John back there.
What up, what up?
Okay, so we're going to jump straight into it. Fellas, now the finals is what, 2-1 Toronto? Obviously didn't see it going this way. I had the Warriors winning 5, but nobody expected Klay to be hurt. I thought KD was eventually going to come back, but it's looking like he's not going to make a comeback.
Hey, man, I had Toronto in 5.
Toronto in 5 is not happening. What you had for the finals, Billy?
I had Golden State in 6.
Okay, so you still looking good. You straight right now. Okay, so game 2, Warriors win. They even up the series 1-1. Obviously, Klay gets hurt. That's probably, I would say, the biggest takeaway from the game. How was you thinking going into game 3?
You said going into game 3?
Yeah, well, like, what was you expecting from game 2 to game 3? What was you thinking?
I was expecting a better effort from Steph's supporting cast. I thought that once they heard word that Klay wasn't going to play, I thought somebody was going to step up. Because if you see it at the end of game 2, the way Quinn Cook hit those threes, I think he hit 3 or 4 of them.
Mm-hmm.
I thought at least if he can give them 3 or 4 threes, which is 12 points, that could be enough to, try to get them over. And I thought Boogie was going to play better. That's just me.
Boogie definitely had a great little spurt, I would say, of 12 minutes in game 2, where he had the 11 points. He made that 3, and then he came back towards the end and made a couple of key plays. Why you scrunching your face up back there?
I just think his injury's starting to show now, man.
Boogie?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Starting to slow. The time that he spent off the court really took away from his training, like his breathing. He just looked tired.
Boogie is definitely out of shape. He can't play the way he wants to, I would say. But going from game 2, like you said, Billy, I was definitely hoping that we were going to get more from the supporting cast, especially seeing how good Siakam is playing. I think the Raptors at least are getting 20 points from at least 3 players, and that's something that if Steph is scoring half your points, what are you going to do then? You know what I'm saying? Like, where do you go from there? Where do you pick up the slack? And nobody really did that.
If Durant's not there and Klay's not there and Steph don't get you 47, you just don't win the finals.
That's not, and that's honestly what it's looking like.
You're finally starting to see the Warriors with only one superstar and how that looks and how they may not be able to keep up. You know what I'm saying? Like with just Steph. You know what I'm saying? He is MVP, unanimous MVP. I can't take that away from him. But if it's just Steph, it's just not enough. It's not enough.
Because, and everybody wants to bring up, oh, he has Boogie. He has a hurt Boogie. Everybody wants to bring up Draymond. Okay, well, Draymond is only going to, if he's going to give me 11 assists and 11 rebounds, he's only scoring 11 points. There's nothing I can do with that.
He's not making up those points.
No.
He may make it up a little bit on the defensive end, getting you some back, but he's not gonna make up the points on the other end. He might shoot a couple threes every once in a while and make them maybe. But that's all you're gonna get from him, man.
And we're not gonna bring up your guy Billy, so don't do it. It's not happening. Don't bring him up.
I will bring him up later. But like you said, the supporting cast from Toronto played amazing. Did y'all know each starter had at least 17 plus points? When was the last time you heard of that?
That hasn't happened.
Each starter had at least 17 plus points. Van Vliet was big. Danny Green was like Danny Green from 2014.
Yes.
Green was spectacular.
Boogie was hobbled and he was getting handled by Gasol. Gasol was making fadeaways and post moves. Like, come on now, right?
And Bogut is definitely a shell of himself. Whenever he comes in and spares the minutes, it's not anything we can, like, the Warriors can depend on, I would say. And that's what's really hurting them. Is what made the Warriors so good is the fact before KD got there was their bench was deep. They could play 8, 9, 10. Now is Klay. Klay is out. Durant is out. Now their bench is pushed up to playing more minutes, and they don't have that ability to give them that much time. In their roles, they play exceptionally. But whenever you extend those roles, just like you try to extend Draymond's role in the offense, it doesn't work out for you. It's not good enough. It's not conducive to a winning environment. And therefore, it's turned into Steph being Davidson's Steph, where he scores. And it was so effortlessly. I text Billy last night. I said, Steph has 35, and it doesn't even look like he's trying. Not at all. That's how gifted he is offensively.
Yeah.
And that's why I was rooting for him just so much last night. It's just to prove that he is that person, because we have these conversations of who's the best player still left in the playoffs, and we quietly want to put Steph to the side. And last night shows that you can't do that. No matter how you feel about him defensively, no matter how you feel about his offense, no matter how you feel if he has help around him, that's not his fault. He doesn't play general manager.
See,
he just plays basketball.
I don't think you can put him aside if you're talking about the best player left in the playoffs, but it's still Kawhi.
Definitely. I'm not saying that.
All around,
but it's
still
1-2.
Kawhi.
And even whenever the playoffs is full, Steph always gets told he's top 10. He doesn't get told he's top 5, top 3, and he is that. He just doesn't have the role to show it.
You talking about in the NBA? He's top
No.
5? Oh.
Overall in the NBA, yes, he is top 5. Ooh. But Billy, is Steph Curry top 5 in the NBA? Overall players?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure somebody was on my side. But no, he's top.
I will go as far as to say if Steph wins this final, he's a top 3 point guard of all time. Maybe he may get to that number 1 spot. He's going to. If he wins this final, the way it's looking, I will put him over Magic Johnson.
I would change the word point guard to shooter because I think he's the greatest shooter of
Score,
all time already.
Definitely.
Score, if you want to put it that way.
Yeah.
I think he's the best shooter. Like, he can definitely score. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But the way he scores is through his shooting.
Definitely.
If he's not hitting shots, he's not getting to the rim either.
But I think his shot opens up him able to drive because it pulls out the defense so far for him to get to the basket. And everything goes in together.
Finisher.
He is. He finishes high off the glass. It's always nice. He has a pretty layup package. But as far as for this series moving forward, yeah, he's in trouble if it's only him.
If it's only him, if Klay can't play in Game 4, I know they already ruled Durant out. If neither one of them are playing, man, it's gonna be hard.
Klay came out and said that he felt he was ready for the finals for Game 3, but I think they just felt they knew they didn't want to risk it. And I think with who he is as a player, with what he does on the defensive end, they couldn't force him to go back out and lose him the rest of the series.
I understand. I just think they thought they were going to get more out of their role players. They thought they were going to get more from the role players and just didn't get it.
You can't expect that when I haven't done nothing for 82 games.
They did it the game before that, though.
They did, but you still get 3 quarters.
Step up, hitting a couple shots.
You still get 3 quarters. You still get 3 quarters of Klay in that game. Now it was just Cook is playing 30 minutes. Come on now. We not putting Cook in for 30 minutes. I don't care if Cook is playing for the Mavericks. Cook is not playing 30 minutes, and everybody knows that. He's good in his little 15-minute role. He get his corner 3. He make you a 3 every now and then. Who's playing exceptionally well outside of Siakam is Van Fleet. Now, shots wasn't dropping for him, but Van Fleet is balling. He is locking Curry up. To as much as you can lock Curry up, as Curry scoring 47 points, but he's pestering. He's all around him. He's in his face. He's being physical with him. He's doing everything that he needs to do in order to play his role, and he's playing his role exceptionally. I think that's the biggest difference between the two teams is the fact that the Raptors know their role. They play it. They're not getting the injury bug, and it's working for them. Kawhi's not even playing the Kawhi that he was in the Eastern Conference Finals, but his surrounding help understands that it's the finals. It's a nice veteran group to understand the time it is, to understand what's needed, and I think they're stepping up for him in that aspect.
I think there's 3 things that we're forgetting to mention. One is, did y'all notice they came out and started Sean Livingston in Klay's spot?
Yeah, I seen that.
Sean Livingston is such, as y'all know, he's such a liability when it comes to shooting that whoever guards Sean Livingston, he came and helped on
double
Steph
Steph
defender every time.
Yeah.
They were daring Sean Livingston to shoot. That's why Quinn Cook was able to, get in so early. Another thing we're forgetting to mention is Looney. Looney is a great pick-and-roll defender. He's not better than Boogie, but when it comes to pick-and-roll defending, he is better than Boogie.
And whenever
he's gone now.
Yeah, whenever I would say whenever you put Boogie in, you're expecting him to give you something offensively, and when he doesn't do that, his liability on defense is what kills him because that makes him a double-edged sword. If you're not going to score for me and you can't stop anything because you're playing essentially on one leg, what are you good for? What are you good for? That's the biggest thing, and that's what's going to hurt them. So Klay is definitely needed to come back. But even if Klay comes back and he gives Steph Curry 20, Warriors still win the game. It's insane to me that Steph scored 47 and how much they lose by last night. It wasn't much. It was 13-12? So that just imagine if anybody upped up their point take from whatever they had.
It was 14.
Yeah, they lost by 14, which is something that Klay could give easily. A hurt Durant can at least give me 20. But we're
The loss of Clay was real evident defensively too. I say 109. The Warriors scored 109 points. 109 points should be enough
win
to
a game.
win you a game.
Yes.
Like, if somebody told me no Clay, no Durant, Steph was going to hit 47, the Warriors going to score 109 points, I said they had a good game and they won. That's what I would say.
Exactly, but they end up, like you said, it's a lot of liabilities on defense. Whenever Clay's not in the game, Siakam is just going bonkers, to say the least, because it's such a tough defend because he is so lanky, because he is 6'10", because he is so fast. That's hard for you to have a 4 guard, and it's hard for you to have somebody short to guard because it is such a tough defense. And I would say another thing that stuck out too, we harp on this 47 that Steph had, but he's also making some quality plays on defense. I think that's something that never really gets talked about because he gets told that he's not really a good defender, and that's something that I think the narrative definitely should change on that. But more, I would say more recent news because it released today. We're gonna move along because we've been on the finals. So more pressing news: Carson Wentz signs an extension for 4 years, $128 million. What are y'all thoughts on this?
I don't know.
Do you give Carson Wentz that much money?
No, I don't. No, because he's gonna get injured next year again. He's so injury prone. It's not even worth it. If you want to give him a year, franchise tag him. Give him a year to prove that he can stay healthy the entire year, and let him prove that he can take you to where you want to go for an entire season without getting injured before you give him that kind of money. Because now what? They gave him 4 years?
Yes.
Oh, no.
So that's turned into a 6-year contract.
Man.
He's locked in until 2024. That's a long
he's still locked. Yeah,
deal.
yeah.
That's a long deal. But you look at it like this: if he finishes that contract, by the time it was over and they have to franchise tag him, that franchise tag is going to be at least 40, 45 million with the quarterback market. So for me, am I giving Carson Wentz this money? Yes. Because one, it's hard to find a quality quarterback, and we're talking about an MVP candidate year in and year out. We're talking about somebody who's going to be able to do something for your team that probably won't happen again. He put the team in the position to be as good as they were to where Nick Foles can go in and just push us to the edge because we already understand how to win because we was doing it for 16 games. Now, what I'm more concerned with is within the own division. Am I, as the Cowboys, giving Dak Prescott at least $30 million? Are you giving Dak Prescott $30 million as a Cowboys fan, Billy?
Yes, I am. And I ask myself this question every night, and I'm torn between the two. Because with the roster they have now, they can make it. Say you don't pay Dak this year, and this man makes the NFC Championship. He's going to expect even more bread next year. So pay him. I feel like this is the cheapest you can pay him if you're going to pay him. Like you said, quarterbacks are hard to find, even for Dak standards. Like, we forget. Dak is only a fourth-round quarterback, and you're not going to find many fourth-round quarterbacks that are going to give you the production. It may not be the consistent production that we're looking for, but a fourth-round quarterback is not going to give you the production that Dak has given you. Dak is stable. When you watch Dak play, you know what he's going to give you. He's not going to give you no Carson Wentz throw and Aaron Rodgers throw. He's going to make a safe play. He's going to make a check down, and he makes few mistakes. We tend to blow up all his mistakes, but if you look at the stats, he makes few mistakes with a lot of game-winning drives. So, yes, I give him his money. Because, like I said, if he makes the NFC Championship, let alone a Super Bowl, they can lose the Super Bowl, but let him get there. You're going to have to break the bank on him. You're going to tear the house down.
Okay, so let's look at it like this. What are you saying is production? Because Dak has, I think the stat said he has more wins than Wentz. He has more, I think, yards than Wentz or touchdowns, one of the two, one of the statistical categories he's leading Wentz in. So just for the fact of him being within the top three, within his class, which is a class with him, Jared Goff, and Carson Wentz, who I would say the cream of the crop is of that year for quarterback, it shouldn't even be a question. I think because he was a fourth-round quarterback, I think that's held against him. But we're, 4 years into the league now? The draft is over. You've made the decision. You've signed him. You You got rid of Tony Romo. Tony Romo is in a booth. Like, what are you so afraid of now to give him the money when he's an adequate quarterback? He's I would say 16, 17, 18 in the league. He's not top 10, nowhere near, maybe not even top 15. But as far as 16, 17, 18, he's in that realm. He's before 20. He's before you get to 20.
Do you think he can get a Super Bowl? Do you think he can take the Cowboys to a Super Bowl?
Yes, but you have to play Zeke.
Well, yeah.
But if I'm never going to ask Dak Prescott to throw for 5,000 yards. He has the ability to do it, but I'm not going to ask him to. Now, I'm not saying he has the ability to do it for 4 years or 5 years, but he has the ability to do it a
See,
season.
that's the question then, because there's only so many Aaron Rodgers,
Yes.
Tom Brady's.
But if we're gonna
there's
give-
only so many, but Dak Prescott is not that to me, and I don't think he's gonna get to that level. I
He
think,
won't.
Exactly. So you don't pay him the big contract, the big money.
But if I'm giving Kirk Cousins $80 million,
Thank
Dak Prescott
God
can
you
get
said it.
120 for
Thank
4
God
years.
You said it. Thank God you.
You know what I'm
said it. I have
saying?
a question. I have a
Kirk
question for
Cousins
both of you.
just went. What did Kirk Cousins go? Kirk Cousins went, what, 8-8? With 2,000-yard receivers.
Oh, my
Adam
God.
Thielen had 10 touchdowns by game 8, and we gave him $80 million? No. And you questioning me if Dak Prescott earned his money? I'm not trying to hear that. No, he can get his money. Now, is he going to be Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Drew Brees? Is he going to sniff that? Probably not. But who in the league is going to do that?
I
Not
have
many.
A question for you both. I have
I'm
a
listening.
question for you both. What are the odds and the likelihood that Dallas, especially the roster they have, at least end up in the top 10 or stumble across a quarterback of the caliber of Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees?
Never, because they're not going back to the top 10.
Second, they said drafting Dak Prescott was their second choice. They wanted to draft Connor Cook out of Michigan State.
He might
That's
not
who
even
they
be in the
wanted to
league
draft.
right now.
Exactly. So the fact that they stumbled across Dak Prescott, he ended up so good. Dak Prescott is the perfect Dallas Cowboy quarterback. He knows what to say around the media. He's not out here doing stupid stuff. He has his own charity. He's in every soup commercial, yoga commercial you can think of. Like, what more can you ask for him? Like, he took y'all to the playoffs. He won a playoff game. Like, come on now. I mean, Romo was beloved, but he won us one playoff game.
And Dak
2
already
playoff
did that.
games? Exactly. So
He's
and
giving you the same
playoff
production.
In the playoff game he lost, he went toe to toe with that same Aaron Rodgers we're talking
Exactly.
about. And if it wasn't for that God-given arm that he has, Cowboys walked out there with a W.
Exactly. If Aaron Rodgers doesn't roll left off his back foot, throw the ball on the line to what? Who was it? Jared Cook, and before he
Jared
steps out of
Cook,
bounds.
Yep.
But we're talking about somebody who's considered, I would say, a god at the position. Nobody throws like he does. And for Dak to go head to head in that, we shouldn't even be questioning if he deserves his money. That's just how I feel about it. Now, granted, does he need $35 million? No, because that's going to put them in a hard position.
I wouldn't give him more than 30.
Yeah, but 30 is reasonable.
29.
30 is reasonable. But and for him to go from what, as a 4th-round pick, he probably makes $400,000.
Oh yeah.
For you to what? I can't even do the math right now, but that's for you to make the transition from that to that type of money. So it's essentially the Russell Wilson deal. Now, does he deserve the Russell Wilson deal? No, but he deserves anywhere between 80 to 120. That's my opinion, and I say at least 90 because he's proved himself. Kirk Cousins didn't prove himself. He just went to Minnesota. He got two top 15 receivers and still only went 8-8. With I would say arguably the best defense in the league talent wise. Maybe not playing. They may not play together.
They fell off play wise last year.
Front 7.
Yep.
Back end.
Yep.
You got probably arguably top 3 safety. It's no question about the talent on that team. You got Dalvin Cook at running back. You got 2 receivers. Kyle Rudolph is the top 10 tight end. Let's be honest. The only thing that's holding him back is what? Kirk Cousins. And he's an $80 million man, fully guaranteed.
And you have the coach.
Come on now. Yes. A coach that you can believe into. I mean, you can buy into whatever believe into is. You can buy into it. You know, like it's just, I don't know. Now, moving along with where you would buy into, as a free agent, as somebody who's a veteran who wants to go win, if you have an opportunity to sign in, I'm going to give you 3 places, and you tell me where you sign. Cleveland, who's up and coming, who's probably making the playoffs this year, probably winning the division. Baltimore, who's in the same position, probably making the playoffs, probably in the running for winning the division, or Charlotte, which is Carolina Panthers. Where are you going? If either you say Carolina, we gonna end the show right now. You're not going to Carolina. You're not going to Carolina.
No, I'm not.
Nobody's going to Carolina. Hold up, Billy. You can't tell me.
Now, hold on. What position we playing?
We play defensive tackle.
I'm going to Baltimore.
I'm not signing to Carolina. Why would I sign to Carolina?
I'm going to Baltimore.
Baltimore's a good choice. That's a solid choice.
For that barbecue, maybe?
And even that is questionable because if we're talking barbecue, I'm going to go to Kansas City.
Texas, baby. What you mean?
That's just the Houston bias in you. But as honestly, as a defensive tackle, as somebody who's not looking to be the number one option, I'm trying to be the second DT, but I'm going to give you production. I'm going to give you wisdom. I'm going to be able to change this defense from a front seven aspect to be able to bring some knowledge, to be able to bring a veteran aspect to this team. I'm going to Cleveland. That's where I'm needed. Or I'm going to Baltimore where the defense is young, where they're begging. In Baltimore, they're begging you to find them a leader because Terrell Suggs is out, C.J. Mosley is out, Eric Weddle is out. That's all three faces of who you lean on. And you choose Carolina?
Yeah.
Carolina is who you choose.
Zach, be honest. He chose Carolina so he could see them twice a year. So he could see the Buccaneers twice a year.
I get
That's
it.
the only reason
he can be petty.
And
but
the disrespect is they signed Sue to wear his same number. That's where the disrespect came.
But, okay, so tell me right now, y'all taking Sue or y'all taking Gerald McCoy?
They're the same parts. They're the same. No, I'm taking Sue.
I'm taking Sue.
Man.
I'm taking Sue.
I'm not a.
I'm taking Sue.
Did you see him in the playoffs?
Who, Sue? He was balling.
Yeah, he was balling.
Exactly.
You just never know when he's gonna step on somebody again.
That's the thing. Sue is that word doesn't sound good. Sue is a handful. Sue will get you in some trouble. But Sue understands, one, how talented he is. Sue also understands he is strong as an ox. It's not many people on this earth that's stronger than Sue. Mm-hmm. And for him to be as athletic as he is, it's insane. So for me, I get what you're saying, Billy, as far as him being petty, but he can wait to the end of his career to go see them. Right now, I haven't won anything. I don't know what winning feels like. And Cam Newton is questionable as far as for this season anyway with the surgery he has to get, correct?
Exactly.
So why would I go to Carolina? What am I getting from that?
He wants to play the Buccaneers. That's what it boils down to.
But he only wants to play them because they made a business decision because he's not worth $9 million anymore.
Exactly.
You're not worth it. I don't care how
hard to
good
tell
you gave me the first 8 years. This year, you're not worth $9 million, so I'm not paying it.
Yeah. I mean, he's maybe worth $9 million. They just seen an opportunity to fill somebody in there they can pay less. And I understand
exactly.
that. It's a business decision. But you also don't know what was said in these meeting rooms behind the scenes, too. You don't know what Baltimore or Cleveland told him. You don't know what, the meetings were like in those rooms.
I get what you're saying, but Cleveland is
maybe Carolina has some, a nice food spread out there for him. They wooed him. You know what I mean? You never know.
Well, we don't know the offers because they don't show the offers. But what we really think it is just it came down to money, and that's what he was at this point in his career. I guess money and winning was his two main things, and I feel like if we offer him $1 million. If we offer him $1 million and Carolina offers him $6 million, I understand that business choice. The same reason I understand Tampa Bay's choice of getting him out of there. But my biggest thing is, at this point in my career, what's most important to me should be winning. Because with Gerald McCoy, with him teetering that line of greatness, he has a couple Pro Bowls. He might have an All-Pro here too. A Super Bowl ring on top of that will help you buy a jacket. Help you get a jacket that you don't have to pay for. And Billy, you know what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But it's just you have to get to that point. Now we're gonna stay within Believeland. Me and Billy have a nice little affection for 1-3 who is currently in Cleveland now. He came to mandatory minicamp as we expected, as everybody wanted to see, with the plain Richard Mille plain orange edition, off-white socks. Brand new visor that you cannot buy anywhere because he is a Nike athlete. And he makes plays. It's something that I'm so excited to see this offense. But more than anything about me being excited about Odell being there, the big talk right now is Duke Johnson. Now, I'm going to listen to both of y'all opinions about how you feel about the third running back on your depth chart asking for a trade and wanting attention, and you tell me what you think. We'll go with Billy first.
As far as Duke Johnson, when I heard Freddie Kitchens' comments on there, Freddie Kitchens was like, his stance was like, hey, you didn't get traded, so come on, bring it on. And Baker Mayfield comments were the same way, so you didn't get traded, come on, strap up. But either Duke Johnson feels like, talent-wise, he knows that he's inferior to the two guys in front of him, or he's seen the system and knows that he's not going to be used effectively like he wants to be used. Because, honestly, if you're not talking about passing Duke Johnson the ball, or exactly, I'm going to ask you this. If you're not talking about passing Duke Johnson the ball, are you going to give him the ball before you give Nick Chubb the ball or Kareem Hunt the ball?
No, not in a million years.
Exactly. So I think he knows that he's not as talented as those guys, so he's just seeking opportunity elsewhere. And when those opportunities were denied of him, that's when he spoke out. Because I don't know if y'all realize this, the Cowboys called about him in the draft, and they weren't trying to trade him to the Cowboys because Cowboys need a second running back, and they were looking at Duke Johnson, and they didn't even let Cowboys get a bite at him. So obviously, Freddie Kitchens want to use him, or they feel like he was worth more than the third round pick. So, let me know what y'all think about that.
Honestly, I think they want to keep him around because they know they won't get Kareem Hunt until week 8. Like, they know they won't have that playmaker there, so they want to keep him around to feed the ball to stymie Chubb, right? I think they want to do that. And he wants out because he knows in week 8, he's not going to get those touches anymore. He knows that. So he wants to go somewhere he's going to be able to get touches and make an impact. I mean, and that's understandable. If you're an NFL player, you're NFL caliber, you want to win, you want a big contract, and you know you're not going to be able to do that where you are, and he's not. They're going to sign Nick Chubb. So it's not a question of that. I just think he wants that opportunity and he wants to move on. And I think they should give it to him, honestly. I think they should trade him.
He's not going anywhere for 2 reasons. We don't have a third down running back, which is what he is. But if all you are is a third down running back, why are you complaining because they put you on the trade block to see what you are? Yes, I get it. Loyalty is big to you. Loyalty is big to a lot of people. But more than anything, this is a business. I don't care that you re-signed with Cleveland for your second contract. You decided to do that. This is a new GM. He didn't sign you, so he has no loyalty to you right now.
Then wouldn't you want to get out even that much more?
But it doesn't matter if I'm going to be a viable part of the first 8 weeks of the season. And let's be honest. Browns go what? 5-3, 6-2, 7-1. Any of those, and you're a real contributor to that team.
You still get your touches.
You gonna be good. And at the end of the season, they're gonna trade you out. You're gonna go somewhere where you want it. You're gonna get a nice contract because right now this year I think he's due like 2 something, and next year he's due 3.8, and I think the following year he's due 4.1. Imagine if he balls out the first 8 games of the season. Kareem Hunt comes back. By week 10 or 11, that's when his touches will really dwindle down. But you've put so much film on the table, and you end the season healthy because you're the third option and nobody really needs you. What are you mad for?
That's definitely a perk of it. Taking less hits, being a little healthy for the next season.
Exactly.
I agree with you.
Kareem Hunt is sparing you within mandatory minicamp because you don't have to get as many touches because he is there. Whenever he comes back in the season, he's going to do the same thing and take the wear off your body because you play a position where you get hit all the time. What are you complaining for? This is a business. I don't owe you the loyalty of that. I'm sorry. And that's why I stand by what Baker Mayfield said. If you want to be here, you have to be here. And even if they tell you, if you tell me you don't want to be here and they keep you here, you got to be here. So suck it up. Stop complaining. You're my third running back. You're never going to be the star that you think you are. You're going to be a quality NFL player. You're going to make $4 to $5, $6 million at most, and you're going to be fine. That's your role. You're never going to be considered the best running back in the league. You're not even the best running back within your room. What are you complaining for? What are you begging for a trade for? Okay, how many third, fourth rounders are we really making waves right now outside of quarterback position? Nobody. It's not something that we're just clamoring for. So what are you no, I don't need this distraction right now. We already got Odell, and that's a big enough distraction. And it's a theme out there that whenever they had Freddie Kitchens and Baker Mayfield whenever they made these comments about if you want to be here, you need to be here, they were talking to Odell slightly. No, they're not talking to Odell. When you traded for him, you understood what you was getting. You've talked to him the majority of this offseason. You talked to him. Y'all have a relationship. Jarvis says they work out in L.A., so they understand. They knew Odell wasn't coming anyway to the optional minicamp. If I don't have to come, if it's optional, then I'm not coming. If it's mandatory, then tell me it's mandatory. Which is why he's there these 3 days. But no, as the third running back on my list, no, I don't need this attention from you. You're not good enough to bring that much attention to yourself.
With everything going on with them trading for Odell,
We have a lot
and all the drama. Yeah, he shouldn't be.
With
And
Baker Mayfield being the star that he is,
Yeah.
it's a lot going on.
Yeah.
And now Baker has to make a comment to where he looks like an a-hole. You know what I'm saying? Like but it's not conducive to it. But like I said, he can't be mad. This is a business. They don't owe you any loyalty, and you have to play your role. If they kept you there, it's because, like Billy said, Cowboys offered a 3rd round pick. If they think you're worth more than the 3rd round pick and you're mad about that, why are you mad? Because they think highly of you. What is the problem in that? What is the problem in seeing what I can get for everything? What if I get a 2nd round pick for Duke Johnson, who I picked in the 3rd round? That's if we talking money ball, that's a win. That's a win.
Right.
You know, but he can't be in his feelings about that. That's not we're not a fan of feelings here. We don't need those. And we touched Odell coming.
To be fair, Duke Johnson was with Cleveland when they were going to the slums. I mean, I think it was.
And so was I, Billy. I haven't got a
I'm
free
not saying
ticket.
you
I haven't got a shirt. I haven't got anything, Billy.
I'm not saying you wasn't, but when's the last time you seen a running back? I mean, it happens, but when's the last time you seen a running back, especially of his caliber, which isn't much, but he led y'all in touches a couple of times already.
Okay.
He's been there for y'all.
He has,
So,
but
I'm not giving him the benefit of the doubt. I'm just saying I'm trying to think from his point of view. He's saying like, hey, I've been loyal to y'all, so why not be loyal to me?
that's
Not saying
fine.
he deserves loyalty, but this is what he's thinking.
I get what you're saying. You're playing devil's advocate. That's
The-
typically
the-
my role,
the-
but it's okay.
The previous GM
Yeah.
was loyal to him.
Yes.
The new one doesn't have to be. That's his team.
Dorsey doesn't
And-
care.
and I understand
Dorsey
that.
wants the best players available.
But if you're
Dorsey is
in
taking it on the
his-
chin.
But if you're in his position, I'm not saying he should feel slighted, because obviously you're in the NFL. You're in a position that you want to be in. Yeah, you're not exactly starting where you want to be, but you're there, man. Like,
Okay, so look, let me tell you this. Same situation. If he balls out 8 weeks, right? He's our 2nd running back for the first 8 weeks. He balls out, he goes somewhere, he can be the first back, right? After seeing for 8 weeks, you
Absolutely.
play on the best team, and let's say we become the best team in the league.
I was about to say,
Yeah, let's
hold
say-
on, bring it back. Maybe the best team.
Yeah, maybe the best offense in the league. We'll start there. Let's say you're the number 2 back on the best offense in the league. You get traded somewhere and become the number 1 back. Now it looks better for you. Now you're probably going to get an extension. Now you're probably going to go somewhere and you're going to get everything that you wanted. But you have to play first. So don't sit here and complain to me for the first. We're in June. Season don't start to the end of August. What are you complaining for? That's my biggest thing. He needs to stop complaining. He needs to understand his role.
Look, I just want to say
Get out
before
his
we
feelings.
get off this topic, I cannot wait to see the Browns play offense this year. I cannot wait.
I don't think anybody in America can wait to see the Browns play offense this year. I don't think anybody
There
in
is
America.
nothing I
I
am
hate
more
that.
excited about this season than
I
that
hate
right
to be
there.
the bearer of bad news. I want Cleveland to go to the playoffs, but one thing to look out for is the rookie wall. I don't know if Baker's going to hit it, but it's a thing. I'm not saying he will hit it, but it is a thing to watch out for.
He didn't hit it last year, just in case you didn't know. He ended up having a record for the most touchdown passes by a
I'm
rookie.
just, it's always that second year, though.
You
It's
keep
that
going.
sophomore
You-
slump. You never know. But
It's
I think he's
fine.
got enough weapons if he does go into
It
it. I mean,
doesn't
hey, it doesn't
matter.
matter. He's going to still produce.
It doesn't matter. If I have a top 3 receiver, then I turn around and have a top 15 receiver on the outside. Plus, I have receivers who play their role well within Hollywood, within
Yeah.
this.
You got Njoku.
I hate when people bring up Njoku until
Why?
because Njoku is a ball of potential. Njoku runs a 4.3,
Exactly.
Njoku's 6'5", Njoku's 265. Njoku looks like God
Give
dropped him
Njoku
out of
some
his
wins.
mama to play football. Like God specifically dropped him down and said, "Hey, you here for play football," which he is. He just has to learn to play the game, and I think he's growing. I think with the talent that's around him, he's starting to be better, and I just can't wait to see it. But don't bring him up to me until he produces. That's my big.
Give him to New England. I bet you he produced.
And Odell had the comment about Baker's arm, so it might just be Baker just throwing it extremely hard. But they said that was a slight at Eli Manning. I don't see that as a slight at Eli Manning. I think he was just honestly saying Baker throws a ball because you got to understand who's the quarterbacks he been catching from. Pause. You got Eli Manning, Eli Manning. You got Mettenberger. Like we're not talking about Baker has an arm that's different, and we seen that with the Jarvis Landry throw against the Jets, where he fits it into the arm of the defender and Jarvis has strong enough to catch it. So Baker has a different type of arm. But we'll stick in the pass catching arena. I don't know if y'all heard the story, but Calvin Johnson, whenever he retires, he was asked to pay back to the Lions a portion of his signing bonus, which y'all know signing bonus is probably where you get the majority of your money in NFL contracts, because that's really the guaranteed part, and then everything else you have to earn through incentives and play and everything like that. So he had to pay back over $1 million. But now the Lions, with this new regime, they want him to come back and start being on the sideline, give them, I would say, validity towards them trying to turn the team around. As somebody who was probably second to Barry Sanders within that organization, maybe Billy Sims is ahead of him, depends how you like running backs versus receivers. He's definitely a top 3 person overall in that organization. Do y'all think he should that the Lions should pay him in order for him to come back around the team?
Yes, and I say he's top 2. But yes. Just like you said, you mentioned Barry Sanders. Detroit should feel ashamed. That's the second player they didn't ran off. Think about it. They didn't support Barry. They didn't put talent around Barry. Barry was tired of losing, taking them hits every season just to lose. Calvin felt the same way. They ran off 2 Hall of Fame. You had 2 gold jacket players in your organization, and you ran them off the same exact way. That's a shame.
Yeah, I think because Barry Sanders paid a portion of his signing bonus back, I think that's why they asked him to. So, but still, I think they definitely should pay him in order for him to come back. Now, in further news, staying with teams that are light bluish, a Texas legend who's turning back to his old alma mater. He left the booth. Mack Brown is back in college football. He's coaching at UNC. He has them with the number 9 recruiting class in the class of 2020. How do y'all think he'll do at UNC these upcoming years?
I think he's going to be good, honestly. Mack Brown, I'm not surprised he has that recruiting class either, because he's always been a good recruiter. I mean, Texas was always, top 5, top 3 in recruiting every year when he was there?
Most definitely.
I mean, he's a great recruiter. He's a player's coach. And at North Carolina, which is in the ACC, I mean, he's going to get his 5 stars, but if he gathers around some 4 stars, some quality 3 stars, and some hidden gems, he can hit.
Most
he
definitely.
can be in the ACC championship. He doesn't. People think you got to have a lot of 5 stars to win. It's really the 4 stars and 3 stars that build a team.
It's really the coaching that turns them into the players that they want to be anyway.
Yeah, and he's got that.
I think he'll put the assistant coaches around him to create what he wants to create. I think more than anything, his time within television helped him see how the game has changed. He watched the new game. He's always been one of those people that had an athletic quarterback, and he never really just put them in a box of running the option offense or running. Now I feel like he kind of led the mold for that run pass option thing. Not saying that he was just a brainiac on the offensive side of the ball, but I'm just saying as far as allowing athletic quarterbacks to be themselves within his play, he's always done that. So for him, this doesn't really strike me as a surprise. And I really brought them up because, in my opinion, North Carolina, if they don't have the best uniforms in college football, they got at least top 3 of the top 5. At least. And it's
Who?
North Carolina. Because the Jordan repping, they was the first one to be Jordan. I would say at the beginning of this decade, Jordan gave them a blessing. The color schemes itself is just a nice color with the Carolina blue. They use hints of darker blue. But the Carolina blue itself is probably one of the best colors on a uniform. And when they have the paw print, I would say that's probably one of their best things. So with the help of my great producer, we're going to go ahead and start our top 5 uniforms. Yeah. We're going to go around the board. He's going to go ahead and drop that in there for me.
All right,
real quick.
Who wants to go first?
Billy going to go first at number 5.
All right. At number 5, I got Michigan.
Michigan?
Number 4.
Number 4, I have Maryland.
Okay.
Number 3.
Number 3, I have Florida.
Number 2.
Hold on. I know you didn't just put Florida on there with them ugly alligator uniforms they got. You just put Florida?
I'm not counting the alligator uniform.
Come on, man.
You don't think that orange and blue ain't clean?
Yeah, don't get me wrong. They got the classic look. Florida has one of the most uniforms that's like, when you think college football, you think orange helmet, you think blue jersey, you think white pants.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm not even talking about.
I'm talking about all, but we talking about, whenever I bring up my list is the array of options. And I'm not putting Florida in them because they have that terrible uniform. Now we're going to go back to John so he can get you 2 and 1.
Number 2.
Number 2, I have North Carolina.
Okay. I like that.
Number
I like that
1.
one a lot.
And number 1, I have Oregon.
You finished it off well, my friend. You finished it off well. But you still, that Florida pick is definitely questionable. But like you said, they do have one of the most classic looks. I'm surprised you didn't put Alabama in there, but y'all would have the most classic look because y'all just have 2 uniforms. Y'all are boring. Players can't even untuck their shirts at Alabama, but I guess that's why y'all go to the national championship every year because y'all have to wear black cleats. And if the cleats not black, y'all get them spatted to make it look like it's black cleats. And the only thing y'all can do is really wear bands, but it's okay. Y'all swag is terrible, but it's all right. Let's go. Number 5, give me Ohio State.
Number 4.
Give me Maryland. Maryland has the best get up as far as for Under Armour. Maryland, they always bring the little pattern helmets, and I think that's probably the best part about it is just that it just be so different that you have to respect it, and it looks good. Like if it was ugly, I feel like we wouldn't accept it the way we do, but Maryland is definitely number 4.
Number 3.
This is tough because I know I want to put UNC here, but I kind of want UNC to go at 2. So I would say give me LSU here because LSU has their classic look is extremely classic, and I love the classic look. But the way they change it a little bit with the hats, with the different helmets, the fact that they had the first towel where it had their emblem on it. I don't know if y'all pay attention like the way I do, but I watch football too. I look at accessories as well. And instead of having a Nike check on their towel, Billy, they have the little lion. I love that. That is something. And then you got to think all the players that went there, everybody buys their swag now from Tyrann Mathieu to Jamal Adams. And the way they look, their throwback uniforms is beautiful. Just for me, LSU has to go at 3, but it's so questionable. Now, come on.
Number 2.
North Carolina. And it's not even up for discussion. We already talked about it. Best colors. They have the best helmets. They sponsored by Jordan, and their Jordans don't be it be good. And then final.
Number 1.
Oh, because if we're gonna be honest, Oregon been running. Oregon is the reason why we started looking at uniforms. So Oregon goes here, but I would say they've kind of fallen off. They ain't bringing the power like they used to. Like you got to think. You went to Oregon because they started off with the little metal-looking shoulder pads. Then they go from the metal shoulder pads to the feathers.
Yeah.
And then it's just something about the.
It was so fly though.
But now they putting orange in it, and I don't really like it. Stick to your colors.
Yeah.
Now it's a different shade of green. They got that real lime green. I'm not really a fan of that.
When they first came out with those feathers though, bro, I loved it so much.
Yes.
I'm not even an Oregon fan. I had it on the background of my phone.
I already know. It's beautiful. But it's something that you can't even argue with. So let me get you over there doing your research. Run me my top 5.
Yeah.
Please.
All right, I got you.
Number 5.
At number 5, I put Alabama. Yep.
You can't argue with
Number 4.
At number 4, I got TCU. I love that purple, man.
That was somewhere where it was fighting at 3 because it was TCU or LSU. The only reason I stopped TCU is because I feel like the same way I had the problem with Oregon, I had the problem with TCU. TCU was falling. They've been falling off. Gary Patterson ain't been letting them be as flamboyant as they used to be. But that they got a black chrome helmet with purple stickers. Oh, and it faded a little bit. That's probably one of the best helmets. But keep going.
Number 3.
At number 3, I have UNC with that powder blue.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm glad to see
Number
that it all
2.
made top 3 for us.
At number 2, I got LSU.
Okay.
All right, and then predictable as hell, but
Number 1.
Oregon. I got to go with Oregon.
Definitely.
Only because you're right. That's what made us start looking at uniforms, college uniforms to begin with, was them putting that swag on there. And I really think Oregon, even with the orange, it looks good, man, and that's just my favorite one to look at, dude.
So,
but I want the one with the feathers,
that's your favorite uniform? Billy, what's your favorite Oregon uniform?
My favorite Oregon uniform is, do y'all remember the one that they wore against, was it Auburn that year in the national championship? They had, was it the
that was a nasty one.
Yeah,
that was
my
a nasty
favorite one.
Okay. I kind of like the national championship all white when they played Oregon.
Yeah, it was cool.
I mean, when they played Ohio State, I said Oregon. When that all white was nasty. The pink uniform is insane. And more than anything, I like how they gave Marcus Mariota 808 face masks. They just bring so many different aspects. And I'm somebody, as Billy knows, I'm somebody who's so into uniforms and accessories and everything on that end that we had to do that. But this has been another edition of Zach Knows Podcast. I'm glad to have you, Billy. I appreciate your time today. Go ahead and tell the people where they can follow you at.
You can follow me at Bill Wilson 52. That's BIL Wilson 52. That's at Instagram and Twitter.
Okay, let them know, John, where they can follow you at.
Yeah, I ain't got no Instagram. But my Twitter, you can find me at JDub, JAYDUB_fire. You can follow me on there. I ain't got no Instagram, but it was fun, dude. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you. And I'm Zach is Great. This is Zach Knows Podcast, and we out.